Hello everybody, welcome back again to isgodforagainstme.com. I am again Deshaun Johnson, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about answer the question, is it okay for Christians to listen to rap music? Now, here's the thing with rap, okay? Well, let me first go back to that scripture of what I said back in Romans, the last video I did about video games. Is it okay for Christians to play video games? Romans 8:14, for as many as led by the Spirit of God, they shall be called the sons of God. This too is another thing that you really have to be led by the Spirit of the Lord on, because there are certain things I can't listen to it because of its substance, its nature. What is the intent of this song? And then by the way, just being a fan of just rap myself and just hip hop, I mean some of the stuff is still out there that's trash. Now, here's what I found to be the problem with certain, Christian rap songs in the past. And I'll talk about where LeCrae actually succeeds at, where he excels at. But in the past, like, the reason that there's this bad stigma on gospel rap, because it comes off corny. It just really comes off corny, as with a lot of Christian media. And to the non-believer, to the secular person who indulges in secular things, I don't even really like using that word, but since that's what everybody globally understands, I'll use it, say it. They just won't get it. Because a lot of the Christian rap songs come in just talk about Jesus died on the cross on February 19th. No, like, even when I just listen to that, like, it's like, all right, great, Jesus died on the cross, like, awesome, terrific. Yeah, no, and that's what a lot of the songs actually do, and like I said, when it comes to certain things like this, with a Christian indulging in, certain things in media, it's not, I don't think, unless the Lord puts it on somebody else's heart, or actually makes you observe, once you sit back, you observe, like, some of the stuff that you're taking in. How does this make you feel right now? What is this making you, like, think about? Is this affecting you? That sort of thing. You need to really pay attention to that. And the Lord may send somebody your way, and address to you, because maybe you don't believe, maybe what you think you're indulging in, there's no harm in it, but then the Lord sends many people your way, and you need to stop doing this, and then you probably need to take heed to that. So it's not, once again, in this video, just like with the video games, I don't think it's for anybody, it's anybody's place to tell you, what you should and should not be doing, unless the Lord puts it on your spirit. For, like I said in that scripture, for as many as led by the Spirit of God, they shall be called the sons of God. Christians now, though, we have to infiltrate. And infiltration, this is war. This is a spiritual war. And you have to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. This is a spiritual war that we're battling. You can't look at the person and become get in self-righteous mode and just call everything and dismiss it as filth. As a teacher, as a public school teacher, I don't do that with students. Because I know they listen to a lot of the rap that's out now. I know they listen to the Little Uzi Verts and just so many other people, Gucci Manes, the Migos. People listen to these guys, and there's certain songs that get me kind of vibing and stuff too, because this is certain energy that's provided in the music. And I'm not going to go off in that rabbit trail right now, because there's plenty of videos about Illuminati influence and third eyes, and I'm not going to really get into all of that. But the fact right now is that I have to have my focus on the spirits, the souls of people, and I can't dismiss their interests, because a lot of people in their activities, they don't feel like it's wrong. And and this being very strategic, you have to really, if you're going to just sit up and judge somebody as a Christian, you have to be prepared to receive that same judgment back on you. So, I'm not going to even go as far as saying, who are you to judge? Because a lot of people like to actually get into their feelings and, well, you can't judge me. Well, I am going to hold you against, what the scripture actually says. And if the Lord puts it on my spirit to tell you that that's wrong, then I have to listen to the Spirit of the Lord. And it's not because I'm just becoming this Bible thumping Christian, but that's been moved on me, and it's because I have a concern about your spirit, because my goal is to love the Lord thy God. If he tells me to do something, I really want to please him, have that go out on faith and please him, because without faith it's impossible to please the Lord. So, and also that other greatest commandment, love thy neighbor as thyself. But if you're trying to help somebody And you just can't be in a position that's just dismiss what they like because you got into this self-righteous place and you're calling it that's filth. Don't listen to that. No, that's not gonna work. It never works. It never works. So I mean, if you're somebody that really just doesn't like rap, just simply say like, yeah, rap music, that's just not my thing. But but hey, if you like it, then that's great for you, and just leave it out like that. I'm pretty sure the Lord will provide everything that you actually need in order to address, somebody that's listen heavily to something that may be negatively influencing them. So I'm not really sure though, but you can't dismiss it. But it's best for you not to dismiss it, but to actually show some understanding and some interest actually into what they're doing, kind of understand what it is that they're listening to, even if you don't like rap music, because in your head you've accepted that, oh, this is just filth, like this. No. So let me actually touch on what I was saying earlier in this video about how LeCrae actually excels and why he's excelled so much in this industry. And one, I personally believe because he sticks to the criteria of providing first just good music. I heard David Banner say this, and I don't agree. I definitely don't agree with, you being your own God. I definitely don't subscribe to that whole notion of thinking, because there's only one God that I serve, and that's Jesus Christ. I'm not my own God. It's only through Christ's power that if I was given the power to raise, if he wanted me to raise somebody from the dead, then yeah, I possibly could do that. And that may be on a spiritual basis, but I'm not my own God at all, so I don't subscribe to that. But one thing he did say that I will agree with is that one of the reasons that gospel rappers fail so much is because they forget the original intent of actually constructing a good rap song. That's good beats, interesting, fun to listen to, thought-provoking rhymes, and just make the good music first. They forget that first priority. Like, that should be your main goal, no matter what type of music you're making. And that's where gospel rap just comes off corny, because it should be about the message, but you have to, in order to get people's ears to perk and open up, you're gonna have to have some good rhymes, some interesting rhymes and everything else. I don't listen to a lot of gospel artists. I think there was one gospel album that I listened to over and over again. It was by this local artist from Austin, Texas, named Timothy, and he was very transparent. He talked about a lot of things that, about his life, and he was just speaking some real things and stuff. He didn't throw a bunch of scriptures in his rhymes or anything like that. It was along the lines of actually storytelling of the same vein as Scarface on any Scarface song. And LeCrae, what he does is he provides his flow, his wordplay, going into double time, some of the double entendres. He's a very enjoyable rapper to listen to, and that you'll get the message, because he's broken those barriers. He's gotten past, he's done the main things. He's created good rap songs. Now he can actually kind of seep that message into that particular track, and it'll get to you the way that it needs to. And that's what we have to remember. We have to kind of take that same approach. How are you? And let me say this. Let me put myself into this. How are we continuing to approach people with the message? Are we continuing to be forceful with it, go by forceful entry, or are we trying to take the biblical approach of meeting people where they are, being wise as serpents, harmless as doves, and just being led by the Spirit of God to address certain injustices? It's a lot of people that don't feel like their actions are wrong at all. They just don't. And you just can't go off and just tell them that that's wrong unless you're led by the Spirit of the Lord to do so, because you'll be given the resources, the energy, the platform in order to just do just that. If you're going off of the law and you're saying well, I'm in right standing with God because I don't do this or I don't do that, or you start listing all the stuff that you don't do, then no, then you're going off with some law stuff. You're going back to, Old Testament, Old Covenant living, and we're not living in the Old Covenant anymore. It's not about what your efforts are. It's about what the Lord is actually doing. And are you listening to the Lord? or is what you're doing, everything that you said, because even Jesus said that many will come in my name giving me lip service, but their hearts are far from me. And in the end, he will say, I know you not, you workers of iniquity. Check your motives, check your intentions on when you're doing certain things. You know, are you doing this for your own self-righteousness, to big and brag and boast about yourself, make yourself feel good? Or are you really doing this because the Lord has really put it on you? And sometimes when the Lord asks you to do something, I struggle with it a lot of the times. Like, what, Lord, you want me to do that? That's, I don't know. I struggle with it for a while, but then in the end, it's nevertheless, Lord, not my will, but thy will be done. It gets tough. When you start having those flesh versus spiritual struggles, then yeah, it may be something that the Lord wants you to do, because your flesh is totally resistant against it. And you got the Satan may be in your mind just like, no, don't do that. That's dumb. Like, why should you do that right now? You know, so that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Anyway, I guess I talked enough on this video. Probably this video is going to be best listened to as an audio, maybe while you're driving or something. So I really encourage you to do that if you're watching or listening at this moment in time. So once again, thanks for watching. Is God for against me? Deshaun Johnson. God bless y'all. I'll see you in the next video.